this is the romantic idea of the composer that had something so special to communicate that it was worthy a life, that could change the society.
Orazio, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure.
What do people know you for?
I don't know what you mean for people.
People in your life. Or even people not in your life.
No, mostly I think that you coincide, because mostly I'm a pianist and people associate what I do with what I am. And
right.
I'm a piano teacher, and most part of my life I dedicated to practice and to play piano.
How many years, if I can ask?
I started in a very quick way when I was 10, because my parents, both of them, they were good musicians.
You told me once actually you decided to do music even, or not as a career necessarily, but to like practice it or take it seriously to get attention from your...
Yeah, probably it was something that I didn't really wanted. It was a way for me to feel more in the right place in the relationship with my mother. Also because piano music was the language of my house.
Right. Your mother was a trained musician?
Very good, yes, very good piano teacher, very passionate, and for her, being a human was the same that being a good musician. So that was her idea.
In order to be a good human, you have to be a good musician.
Good musician, yeah.
Man, that sounds so demanding. I mean, challenging, like difficult, I guess. It's one thing to know a person like that as a friend or something, but your mother, do you feel that this had some kind of impact on you in a larger way, or is it just something you accepted when you were young and you don't think about it much?
I think both of them. Also because the more I grow up, the more I understood that our life is connected not only with the one of our parents, but also with their parents. It's a kind of chain. And so if my mother was like that, it was because of her story.
Would you consider yourself to be a kind of open-minded person? You tend to just be curious about other people and...
Yeah, very. I think that in different experience life of other person or other people, you can find answer to your question.
You can always learn something from other people. Anything you feel close-minded about?
I don't really like the idea of to follow the rules. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't like the family that seem perfect and that are not. Probably because I have not a family, because that's one of my weak sides.
Right. Well, we have a lot in common then, let's just leave it at that.
It's a romantic idea that some people had a kind of gift, and in that way they wrote something that can last for centuries, and it is happening, really.
What do you think is different about this music that makes it last for centuries? We were just talking about how you had mentioned like some popular thing we had heard, and it's sort of this idea that it might not be listened to, 50 years from now because it'll be out of date or something, whereas you can take, so to speak, one page of Bach and we'll still listen to it 50 years from now. Like, what is the quality that has that makes it listenable after such a long period of time?
Probably was the time when it was composed that it was completely different, no? Because men were completely by themselves, no? There was not an industry behind, and also if we were speaking about money, also about that music, all the musicians wanted to live with their products, but I think that the society was completely different, so it was kind of golden age to express themselves.
So because the musicians didn't have to worry about Spotify and royalties and touring and stuff. I mean, maybe they made some money playing, but like they were, I guess, commissioned by royalty to work on their craft, and so they could just focus, and because they were able to just focus on it, the music has this...
Yes, also not having so many technologies was for sure, but for technologies, I mean also a studio recording of the 60s. So
Right.
something changed completely at the beginning of the 20th century. What was before is a kind of ideal era in which the composer, the musician was kind of a giant against the society. No, this is the romantic idea of the composer that had something so special to communicate that it was worthy a life, that could change the society. It changed completely at the beginning of the 20th century, becoming something different. I don't make a judgment about it's better or worse. It's
Right.
just different.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that I used to listen to when I was a teenager, and I don't listen to it anymore. And it feels like, oh, if I listen to it, wow, man, it's like nostalgic. It takes me back. And but there's a lot of classical music that I do keep going back to, and it's just interesting to think about like why we go back to certain things and not other things. But maybe that's also part of the mystery of music. It's subjective.
And I speak as an interpreter first, because if you devote a life to a repertoire, it means that it has something so important that it deserves your commitment. So it's different if I want to play a song by the Beatles. It's a different attitude, a different idea about what is music, what is important. If I spend 1,000 hours to play a Mozart sonata, means something different than if I whistle a tune.
So it's not only the composing of the piece, but the time that somebody spends to learn how to play it.
For this it's a very personal point of view.
I think it's interesting. You spent maybe the first portion of your life as heterosexual, then you switched sides at some point.
It's not
or
entirely correct.
How you tell me your story there, because I think that's interesting.
About sexuality, there are a lot of dangers. Speaking of sexuality,
well, you're talking about your own experience, right? I mean, it's not
but I was a mess since I was a little boy, so I cannot define myself. Maybe I could have defined bisexual, or I had a first time in my life that I was clearly oriented in a same sex. I was attracted by my male friend. And after I had the sensation that it was wrong. Not only the sensation, I was in some way accused from my mother, my sister, so I had to change. Not to change, to accept the idea that I was wrong in some way. The way I was attracted by other humans was not the right one. And we are speaking also about the south of Italy for 50 years ago. That was a different country.
Important context,
So, to me, sex always have been something that made me think that was a way to be connected to another human. So I had a lot of fortune, having a lot of beautiful girls in love with me. So I had the option to look for it, to find the one that I thought it was
make your choices.
The right one.
Yeah.
And it worked for a long while. So when after that and after other stories, by chance I had a situation in which in America, in the United States, I was completely, rapito, we say in Italian, astonished.
Astonished?
I was 40 something and there was this young man of 30 year old. And it was something that was so strong. We were in what was the trip of my dreams. I was traveling around Grand Canyon and National Park, so it was the perfect scenario for something special. And so the attraction that I had for this guy, and I was already 40, and since 20, when I was 20, I had no any kind of this kind of situation, because in these 20 years I was completely happy with my sexuality and relationship with women. So for many years since then, it was the 2006, I felt that I was more free, having explored this other side of my possibilities and personality. After that, it's also probably a matter of how lucky you are. I mean, I didn't find really a situation with a man that could be compared to the deepness of relationship that I had with women.
Right.
So it's not easy to really to speak in a way that I can consider the definitivo, how do you say?
Yeah, and I mean, I shouldn't have made it sound like it's some kind of switch or something. And I think you use this word exploring and try to understand how you feel, and that's maybe a nicer way to say it. It's beautiful that you even allowed yourself to try, and I'm curious about maybe how it was with your friends and your family. Like, did you share this or did you not share this, and like, what was your experience like at that point?
No, I have a very conservative sister. She has a big family with 3 daughters, and when I spoke with her about this, she said, I think it won't be easy for you, but there is not any problem for me. And in some way, I think that rationally she accepts me. Deeply, I don't think that for many people that has a normal, into brackets, life with a normal family,
Right.
can really understand what is another option. What is your big project in your life?
My big project.
Yeah.
You know, I have many projects.
If you have the bigger.
The bigger one. You mean like the
Yeah.
big project? Wow. Well, I've spoken earlier about how I try to just see connections between everything that I'm doing, so it feels like I'm doing one thing, and I haven't really articulated what the one thing is, and I don't know if I will. This difficulty of choosing something is something I've struggled with for a long time. Like, you know, I study music, and then I'm doing computer stuff in the background, and then I'm learning about business, and like, so I'm always kind of going all over the place. And I learned there's a term called generalist for this, and you can just learn to be good at different things. But that's also in relation to like having a career, right? And like, what's your job? Like, what do you do? This kind of question. So.
But if you don't put this in relation with money, as we told.
Yeah, exactly.
Before.
Yeah. And so I'm actually trying to get in touch with this now, as in like right now in the last days or weeks, because I feel some need to simplify what I'm doing. Not that it's too much, but I think I've been doing things maybe for like to like prove something, or for external extrinsic.
As all the humans, I mean.
As all the humans do, sure. But I also feel that there are things like there's a clear subset, smaller portion of the things that I do where it's clear that I'm just doing it because I love it and I want to be involved in that process of doing that. And I just call that magic. You know, I call it doing magic. It can just be like playing this Prokofiev sonata that I played yesterday to practice it. I haven't played the piano in a long time. I haven't touched that piece of music in a long time. And somehow this process of just trying to bring it back, but not bring it back in the way that I would usually do it, where I'm like, oh, now I have to like check some boxes or something, you know. It's like, how do I reconcile this old thing from my life with my current self and bring it now into the present, and just with how I'm feeling and what my capabilities are, and to not stress myself with like performing something. And like, it's an interesting process of just harmonizing what I'm interested in and not doing this sort of superficial, externally motivated stuff. I'm not being super clear about this, but it's a kind of, I'm trying to simplify and direct everything towards stuff that I feel is very natural and abundant and effortless, and not do things where I feel like I'm really going out of my way to do something for something outside of myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, it's only about your way of life, your daily life. Also, this podcast, no, it's kind of product that you are expressing in this path, in this process. I mean. But no, my idea was if you had something more articulated about all this experience, all these thoughts that you have about your, how do you say, previous life and your experience that brought you.
I do feel this need to make my experiences from the past visible or like legible, even to myself, like just for me to get an idea of what I've done, because we were talking about this in relation with the trip I just had in Asia. So many things happened and we're not really like processing what's happening, you know, because there's always like another thing that's happening and it's urgent and has to be dealt with now. Maybe a better metaphor is like, you know, you take photos on your phone of different things and you capture moments with your friends and your experiences. How often do you look at those photos again? In my case, I feel like I actually never look at my photos again. And it's quite random. Like I'm looking for something in that trip in Colombia like 3 years ago. And then I'm like looking through what I did and remembering what I did and thinking, oh wow, okay, this happened and that happened. And this thing about putting everything together and making sense of it, and we say just processing, like just taking in actually what you've experienced. Like I feel like I haven't really done this. I think a lot of people also haven't. It's kind of hard to do that because we're constantly being subjected to new things on social media or on the internet, but also in real life, new experiences like the next event, the next hangout, whatever. So when all of these things are happening, it's hard to put your past experiences into perspective. And I think what I want to do right now in these near days is just to try and just slow down, just look at everything. And you know, even if I just like write down what I did or like document it somehow, like this sonata that I was practicing is very old actually, but I don't feel like I have a documentation that I did that. So in some way it doesn't exist externally. And by externally, I don't mean for other people. Like, yes, other people can see it. But if I have something like this on my YouTube channel, for example, which is really a channel for myself, it's like a diary. It reminds me that, oh yeah, I can see it in context with everything. It feels tangible. I did it. And, you know, it's nice to not forget that that was a part of my life. So these kind of things is, I think, what I'm focused on now. It's just getting in touch with my own experiences in the past and putting it together, making sense of it.
I'm sure that in your next month in Canada, no, probably you will be able to have more clear what you want. No, more.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
And we will wait for your communication.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Where can people find out more about you? Do you have anything online?
Yes, I have a lot of videos and also some recordings since I was 20.
Wow. Oh my God.
On YouTube there are many, also some of them are interesting because I speak about how Chopin taught to play piano, because Chopin was a wonderful teacher.
Yeah, so I've shared one of your videos in the past actually explaining Chopin. I think this is something missing from a lot of classical music where you, if you're not deep inside of that world, it's hard to really appreciate what's happening or understand it. And so it's nice when somebody can just break it down in a way that's easy to understand. You know, Benjamin Zander also gave this famous TED talk explaining how Chopin, I forget what the piece it was, but I think these things are great just to help, because there's a lot of good music and maybe people feel far away from it. So what's the name of your channel?
My name, it's
Orazio Maione.
Orazio Maione, yeah.
Cool.
And also just putting my name as a pianist comes out something. Or on Facebook, I am open to other contact on my Facebook.
Super.
It's a way to stay in touch. It's a good way.
Super. Great to chat with you, Orazio. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.